Welcome to Trivia Clips. Are you ready to ride the wave of rock history? This is part 1 of the Beach Boys True or False Challenge. You have 5 seconds to answer each one. True or false? Let's dive into the surf. 1. The Beach Boys were originally called the Surfers. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. They were almost called the Pendletones. A record label employee renamed them the Beach Boys. The band didn't even know until the records came out. The name stuck and fit their image perfectly, but the Surfers was never an official name. 2. Brian Wilson was completely deaf in one ear. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True, Brian Wilson lost hearing in his right ear as a child. The cause remains unclear. Some say a blow to the head. Despite that, he became a legendary composer and producer. His ability to layer harmonies is unmatched. He heard perfection with just one ear. 3. Surfin' USA was their first single ever released. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. Their first single was Surfin' in 1961. Surfin' USA came out 2 years later. It was their breakout hit, though. The song defined the surf rock genre, but it wasn't their debut. 4th Pet Sounds was a commercial failure at first. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, true. Though critically praised, sales were disappointing. Fans expected more surf songs, not deep orchestration. Over time, it became a classic masterpiece. Many musicians, including Paul McCartney, admire it. Now it's considered one of the greatest albums ever. 5. Dennis Wilson was the band's main songwriter. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Dennis was the drummer and occasional songwriter. Brian Wilson was the creative force behind the music. Dennis did write a few solo pieces, but the core of their sound came from Brian. Dennis was more of a performer than a composer. 6. The Beach Boys recorded songs in both English and Spanish. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. The Beach Boys recorded only in English. They toured internationally but didn't record in Spanish. Their appeals still crossed language barriers. Their harmonies were universally loved, but their songs stayed in English. 7. Mike Love was a cousin of the Wilson brothers. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Mike Love is a first cousin of Brian, Carl, and Dennis Wilson. Their family connection helped form the band. Their tight vocal blend came naturally. It was part blood, part magic. That family bond shaped their harmonies. 8. Brian Wilson never used drugs or alcohol. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. Brian struggled with drugs and mental health for years. He experimented with LSD and other substances. This affected his ability to tour and record. His masterpiece, Smile, was shelved partly for this reason. It was a painful chapter in his genius story. 9th. Good Vibrations used a theremin for its iconic sound. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, true. The eerie sound in Good Vibrations comes from a theremin. It gave the song a futuristic, psychedelic feel. Few pop songs had used that instrument before. Brian Wilson pushed boundaries in the studio. This was one of his boldest moves. 10. The Beach Boys were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the 80s. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, true. They were inducted in 1988. The ceremony honored their legacy and impact. Even decades later, their music still resonates. They earned their spot among the greats. It was a moment of recognition, long overdue. End of part 1. How many did you get right? Stick around for part 2 of the Beach Boys challenge. The waves are just getting bigger. Welcome back to Trivia Clips. This is part 2 of the Beach Boys True or False challenge. You have 5 seconds for each one. Ready to go deeper? 11. Carl Wilson played bass guitar on all studio recordings. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Carl mostly played guitar, not bass. Bruce Johnston or studio musicians often handled bass parts. The Beach Boys frequently used session players. Carl's strength was in vocals and rhythm guitar. He was key to their live sound. 12. California Girls was inspired by a dream Brian Wilson had. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Brian claimed the melody came to him in a dream. He rushed to record it before he forgot. The song became one of their signature hits. Dream or not, it captured a sunny vibe, a true anthem of West Coast pop. 13. The Beach Boys never released a Christmas album. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. They released the Beach Boys' Christmas album in 1964. It featured holiday classics and original songs. Little Saint Nick became a seasonal favorite. They blended their surf sound with festive cheer. Yes, they went full Christmas. 14. The band broke up permanently in the 1970s. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. They had lineup changes, but never fully disbanded. Different members toured under the Beach Boys name. Reunions and revivals continued for decades. Even today, Mike Love leads a version of the band. The surf never really stopped. 15. Brian Wilson produced Pet Sounds all by himself. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. He took complete control of the sessions. He used the Wrecking Crew studio musicians. The rest of the band was touring at the time. His vision shaped the album entirely. It was his personal masterpiece. 16. The Beach Boys only had success in the United States. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. They were also very popular in the UK and Japan. British fans embraced their harmonies and surf vibe. Their international tours drew massive crowds. Their appeal crossed oceans and generations. They were global pop icons. 17. Dennis Wilson was the only actual surfer in the band. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Ironically, the rest of the band didn't surf. Dennis brought the beach lifestyle to life. He lived the California dream off stage. The music reflected a fantasy he really lived. He was the band's authentic wave rider. 18. Charles Manson wrote songs with Dennis Wilson. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Dennis briefly associated with Charles Manson. Manson lived in his house and recorded demos. One song was reworked into Never Learn Not to Love. The connection ended badly and disturbed Dennis deeply. A dark chapter in Beach Boys lore. 19. Brian Wilson performed Pet Sounds live for the first time in the 60s. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. He didn't perform it live in full until 2000. Mental health issues kept him from touring. Fans waited decades to hear it live. The 2000 tour was a triumph for him. Better late than never. 20. The Beach Boys have sold over 100 million records worldwide. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. They are one of the best-selling bands of all time. Their influence spans multiple generations. From surf rock to pop innovation, they did it all. Their catalog still earns new fans every year, a true legacy of American music. End of part 2. How did you do? Drop your score in the comments and hit subscribe for more epic music trivia.